Welcome to the Midsummer Wind Gathering. And around in the northern parts, we also call this the summer solstice. And we're going to use today the power of the wind and the power of the solstice sun in order to thin and weed and prune our gardens so that we can really manifest our goals and dreams. And for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Renee and I'm the Practical Shaman and the Hay House author of Winds of Spirit. And I'm a wind whistler. I hold space over at the Wind Clan group. And so no matter how you got here, you can still sign up and receive the worksheet or just grab a piece of paper so you can jot down a few notes. And I do a gathering every the equinoxes and the summer solstice and the winter solstice. And my assistant Courtney's watching over the Wind Clan page, and hopefully she'll say hello to you, because from here to there, even though I just ordered some glasses last week, I still can't see who's here. So welcome, and I'm thrilled you're here, and happy that you're on this journey with me of awakening, because we're needed now. Today, one of the things that I would like us to do is send some light and love to the children who are struggling, to the families who are separated. All of these are part of the great windstorms that are blowing right now, because we need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to know what we stand for. We need to know what we believe in and where we're going to put our heart, our energy, our money, our resources. And so getting clear in ceremonies like this and ceremonies that are taking place elsewhere are the ways that we can move forward in harmony, because really we all breathe the same wind. And so the wind is the thing that is going to connect us worldwide. And one of the things I always just assume that people know exactly who I am, what I'm doing, and what this wind work is all about. So today I'm going back to the basics. Oh, by the way, this is my new studio. I'm very excited. When friends come over and want to watch TV, this slides, and I can pop a green screen up there. So I'm really getting ready to really teach. In fact, one of the things you'll learn about later is that I'm going to do a weekly wind spirit card class and really get to go deep with these winds and the winds that are coming out to be written still. So let's talk about what this midsummer wind is all about. It's when the sun is at the height of the power, that full day. It may or may not be the longest day of sunlight. In some places it is, some places it isn't. However, what it is that sunlight that lightens up the darkness. It feeds our plants. It feeds our energy. Do you ever notice in the summer you have a whole lot more energy than when it's dark at 4? And one of the things that we like to say, oh yeah, it's the beginning of summer and all of this, but it's also, oh, thanks for all the love, I'm loving it, is that we start to move back towards the darkness after today. And I mean, it's incrementally a few seconds here, a few seconds there until it adds up. However, one of the things is that there's those darker, those shadow elements of ourselves that when we reveal, when we thin, when we prune, you just don't you don't toss some seeds out in the garden and just wish that they'll grow. No, if you're a gardener, you go out and tend to them. When there's suckers, you pull them. I know I do that on my grapefruit tree a lot, is that I have to clip off the suckers, because those suckers are the things that take our life force energy. The wind work is all about seeing what is reflected in nature as the way to manage and navigate your own life. It's really, really simple. Some of the people who have taken my wind mastery class might not think might beg to differ with me. It's really simple. It's just not always easy. So we've always had a fascination with time and space. And for many cultures, Machu Picchu, which is the winter solstice today, and over in in the UK, there's, I know it, I was just there, Stonehenge. It's the summer solstice. And these monumentals, these monolithic rocks were always put in place to understand where the sun was and where the shadow was cast. And they used days like today to journey into the other realms, to journey into places where they could visit and where sunlight lived all the time, where the childlike energy was always in full bloom. And so today we're going to take advantage of that, especially for those of you who want to journey with me. We're actually going to take a journey into a place that Hank Wesselman once coined as your sacred garden. And I've done a lot of work there. And today we're going to go there with a very specific reason of tending to our crops, pulling weeds. And I have a really exciting way, because let me tell you, the other night at 3 a.m., the winds, when they want my attention, they wake me up. It's just that simple. They woke me up. I had to write down what it was we were working on, because there's a lot of things going on right now in the world. And so it's our job to ferret those out, to ask the winds to clear things, to ask the wind to work with us so that we can be in harmony and that we can be one voice and one wind. And it's also a time of fertility where the sky marries the earth. What a great concept. Because, these winds aren't just hanging out in space and time. In every creation story, these winds of spirit were there, either separating the sky from the earth or infusing energy into life. Because, when your soul comes into this world, it is with that first wind breath. Now, some of you might think, oh my God, this woman's a nut job. And some of you might be thinking like, yeah, I resonate with this. And for those of you, stay around and listen, because I have a really special deal for those who are going to join me at Omega. And so one of the goals, I wanted to talk about the basic premises of this wind work, which is, as I said, it's written here in the Winds of Spirit, although I found several other chapters that aren't in the book. There's more books coming, at least 2 that I know of. That what I'm working on now is navigating the seasonal winds, a modern day mystic's journey every day. How do you do this? And so there's a goal. The goal is the magnetic north, to know that sweet spot in you where there's a place of peace, joy, serenity, rest, and that you're not being affected by all of the disturbing elements out in the ethers. The other day I posted something about faith on my wall, and I was open to so many different opinions about it, but there was so much anger and so much strife in people. I don't know if the people are not feeling heard or what's going on, but we need to come together no matter what our opinions. Remember, the same wind is going to go around the world in a few short days. So if you're feeling disturbed by other people's opinions, stay along. There's work to do. There's energy. So here, for those of you who don't know, is my sack of wind, and it's a wind bag. And like me, wind was kept in bags, and they were all, you see in a lot of Fujin, he carried a sack of wind. A lot of times it was kept in caves and in bags. So this is why we have a bag of wind. And then the tool is our awakening compass. And here's a great compass a good friend of mine once gave me. And this compass it's a navigational system that helps you understand where you are in your space-time coordinates at any time. Because remember, sailors sail their ships or steer their boats from their own wheelhouse. It does me no good to know where your magnetic north is and where your ship is sailing to, because I'm in charge of sailing this ship and being in alignment with what I'm doing. And if I'm in integrity and if you're in integrity, then what happens is that we're going to do the right things. So there's a map. And the map has 4 territories, and the East in so many traditions is new beginnings. The sun rises in the East. The moon rises in the East. It's a great place if you're doing a journey today to get your coordinates, is to see where the sun is. And so the South is where we're in now. Oh, I love all these. The heart's just moving me forward. The heart is the hearts. Yes, the South is about our emotions and our needs. And it's also this place of the midsummer wind. It's a place of the summer solstice. It's where we go into our gardens and we tend to them. They're already planted, they're already growing, but they need tending. And if you have a new project, a new idea, this is where you tend to it. So a lot of people here, we're going to find out what our goals were that we set. And then we're going to go in and tend to that garden. Because what we're doing is we're moving towards the west, which is the place of the harvest, the physical endings. So we're moving in that direction. After the solstice, we start to move to the west towards our harvest. Now, if you don't weed your garden, what you're going to get is some pretty mediocre plants, right? So if you don't weed your goals and dreams, if you don't take an assessment of them midway, you'll get to the end of the year and you'll be left with nada. Your harvest, your wind bag will be empty. And then you'll never make it through the north, that spiritual north, that winter, that cold north wind that lives way beyond the mountain, which is that place of community, of spirituality, of hibernation. And in my system, this wind work, you don't set goals in the winter. You set them in the spring, because in the winter, you're hibernating, you're germinating on everything you brought forward this year. You put into a deep thaw, a deep freeze, in order to see how it comes through. Are you still with me? All right. So hopefully those of you who registered for the class got this worksheet today. It was at the bottom of the email that said class begins in an hour. And it's also, if you just registered now, it'll come to you in the welcome email. Because I want you to have this, because it's kind of a good place to write. But if you don't worry about it, okay? We're going to go on to the meditation, the journey part of this. And I kind of gave you a basic overview. Like I said, if you want to dive deeper into this work, there's the Wind Mastery class twice a year, and we're going to start a weekly Wind Spirit class soon. And my wish is that you'd all come and join us at Omega, because I think it is so important for us to take our friendships, our relationships that we're developing on Facebook and other social media, and actually sit in a circle. Look at each other in the eyes, share your heart, share your stories, and sit around the fire, because there's so much possibility when we all gather. So let me just go quickly through what we're going to do in today's meditation. So this is the Midsummer Wind Journey meditation. And I'm going to ask you to get comfortable. I'm going to tell you this now so that way you don't have to be shuffling about once we get started. And we're going to go to a place that's called the Sacred Garden. And I'm going to lead you there, so don't worry about going there yet. And then I'm going to open the winds and ask them to shed light. And I don't want you to get ahead of yourself, so you'll follow those instructions. And then we're going to actually do some gardening there. And we're going to take that garden, and we're going to use an old, maybe it's an old Greek ancient tool that they did, and we're going to move that energy around with a couple of different techniques there. And I just want to tell you this, so if you don't resonate with it, you don't have to get in the middle of it and then think that it wasn't for you. And then we're going to do a wind spin. And I was so excited yesterday when I found this whole chapter on the wind spin. And this wind spin is a technique that will probably be in the Navigating the Seasonal Winds book. And it's a way that we're going to release what we no longer need and anchor what we're bringing in. Okay? And then we're going to return, and then you're going to go through and get an opportunity to see how this is working for you in your life. Are there any questions before I start? I'm going to look over here and see. Hello? Okay. I don't see any questions. I guess you're ready. the wind we're working with today is Mari. Oh, good. And as it says on your paper, you can learn more about her on page 175. But I just want to tell you that Mari is the Basque wind goddess that she traveled through the Pyrenees Mountains. And they would say that she would show up in all different ways. And there's even some mythology, folklore that says she is the first or one of the first incarnations of the Divine Mother. That the Divine Mother was taken from this wind goddess Mari because they never really knew where the Basque wind came from. And one of the gifts of Mari's is that you can call to her for 3 times whenever you're lost, and she will come to your aid. And I thought that that's how we would start our journey today, is that I would call, and wind whistlers, please call from your own, if you have your wind whistles, please take them out and help us all call to Mari 3 times as we begin this journey into our sacred gardens. All right, everyone, we're going to go into our sacred gardens. Make yourself comfortable. You can, spread out, lie down, do whatever makes you feel best. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And let's call to Mari 3 times. Mari, 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 come to us. Show us the way. Show us the light. Show us the way to our innermost knowingness, that place of wisdom that resides in each of us, that place of self-mastery, that place of self-power. Find yourself in your favorite place in nature. And look around. What kind of beautiful day is it? Is it the summer solstice? Is the midday sun high in the sky? Is it overcast? Allow whatever to be. And look around. There's a path. And today this path is going from the south. We're heading into the south door of our gardens. The place of the midsummer wind. The place of our emotions, our needs, our desires. All that we've planted this year. And as you walk, maybe it's through the forest, maybe it's along a beach, you see in front of you a structure, a gated, closed structure. That's locked. And intuitively you know where you hid that key. So take that key out from your pocket. And maybe some of you haven't been here in so long you have to cut through the bramble to get to the door. Find the door, find the lock, and push open the door. And once you walk in, I want you first to look at your feet. What are you wearing on your feet? Look up at the sky. Is it the same sky that you just left? This is the garden of your emotions, the garden of your needs. It's a private spot. So if anyone came with you, ask them to leave. This is for you and you alone. This is your time, your sacred time. And I want you to look around the garden. And as you look around, go to the section of the seed you planted in 2018, the seed you planted earlier this year. What was it? What were your goals? What were your dreams? What did you want for yourself? What did you want for your family? What did you want for others? Look at those flowers, look at those plants, look at those growing crops. How are they doing? Are there suckers coming out sideways? Are there weeds? Have your seeds grown? Or are they still an inch from the ground? Are they crowded? Have they gotten pushed out of the way by other things, other plants, other ideas? Tend to this garden, and we're in sacred time, so this moves quickly. You can clear it with all your imagination and magic, because it's a magical day in the garden. And as you're pulling, create a pile. Maybe put it in a wheelbarrow, depending on what you have. You're going to create a pile with all of the weeds, all of the extra, some dirt, things that are keeping in the way from your garden growing fully this year. Take that debris, those suckers, the weeds, those little fledgling plants that never grew, and then put them in the middle of the garden and find a place, a clearing where you can build a fire. But before you build a fire, we're going to do this ancient technique. We're going to take all of this dried wood, all of these suckers, all of these weeds. We're going to tie them in a bundle with a colorful yarn, a colorful tie. You see it in your imagination. Tie it up. And then in the meantime, once it's tied, get a fire going. A big, strong blaze for the midsummer wind. This wind is coming through here. Putting some energy to that blaze. The Wind Mother Mari is here, holding you as this fire grows. You see the light of the fire. And then you're going to, when the fire's ready, you're going to take that wrap bundle, that tied, colorful bundle, and you're going to put it into the flames. And as you do, I want you to declare, ask Mari to blow away the old patterns, the ways of being that rob you of your energy, that steal your life force. Ask these winds to prune and thin this garden, to remove any of the suckers that are taking your life force energy. Any doubt, any disappointment, any expectations, throw it into the fire. And now turn around, and with your back to the fire, your back to the flame, you feel the heat of that fire that's eating, mulching all of your disappointments, all of your anger, all of that bundle. You're going to see Mari come through, and she's going to unspin you from your feet up. And she's going to take it like a wind, and it's going to go through your entire body, counterclockwise. It's wind. You're unspinning all of those old patterns. You're unspinning them. They're going away. They're rising with the smoke of the fire. Feel it spin through you. And then feel the peace as that crackling fire behind you. The quietness. Breathe in the winds of Mari. If you still feel lost, call to her, Mari, 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 help me. Help me find the seeds that I'm growing that will grow corn, that will help me thrive, that will help me reach my goals. And then Mari's going to give you 3 new seeds to plant. And you're going to carry these seeds and put them in a new part of the garden. It's a magical earth that's going to take these seeds and let them grow quickly. So take your seeds and new seeds, these 3 new seeds she gives you, and then as you plant them, ask her what you're planting. What are these new seeds, these ones that are going to reinvigorate, that are going to fertilize the other seeds that I've grown? And they may be totally different, something you didn't even know you were going to this year. And as you plant those seeds, feel the soft summer breeze, the midsummer wind coming through. And we're going to leave the garden. And as you see, we've left it better than we found it. But we have to make a commitment that we're going to come back to this garden in a few days and see how these new seeds we planted are growing magically. And how the other seeds we planted earlier in the year are steadily growing. They're going to give us a bountiful harvest. And we feel lighter. Check your whole body. And see how you feel. Do you feel lighter? And we're going to let Mari come in and spin us close before we leave. And she's going to come in through the top of our head, coming out of those Pyrenees Mountains and coming through the top of our head and close us clockwise. So see that wind coming in and swirling down in a clockwise motion from the top of your head all the way down to your blessed garden earth. and walk with Mari. Close your garden gate, lock it up, hide the key somewhere that you'll know where it is the next time you come. And then go back to that sacred spot you were sitting in where the gentle winds, the midsummer winds were blowing by you. And then thank yourself for showing up for yourself. You know, sometimes that's the biggest step forward, is just to say, I deserve this. I deserve to show up for myself. Because the winds will always greet you. All you have to do is invite them in. Blessings on that. And for those of you who came in late, I'm Renee Baribeau. I'm the Practical Shaman, Hay House author of Winds of Spirit. And I'm inviting you to join me for a week of wind work and deeper exploration of yourself at Omega this summer from August 26th through the 31st. And if you sign up this week, I'm going to bring a wind whistle there for you. So you'll have your wind whistler's toolkit when you get there. You just have to send me your registration that you signed up between now and Sunday. And also watch, because we're going to start a weekly wind spirit card reading. And that's going to be a group of people who really want to go deeper. It's going to be guided by me, but it's going to be led by you. And what's going to happen is you're going to come, we're going to meet on Zoom, and then we're going to pull a weekly wind, and we're going to work with it together to share your experience of it, the book's experience of it, and the group's experience of it, so that we can really get to know these energies and how we can work with them in our lives. And I've made it really inexpensive. It's going to be like $8 a week or $25 a month, because face it, there's so many ways we can be spending our energy, and I really want a group of people who are dedicated to become wind masters, so that you can hold your villages and hold your towns together when these strong, mighty winds, blow, and they are blowing. So I really want to thank you for listening and for being part of this, and I would love your feedback. And this video could be shared, so feel free to go to the Renee Baribeau, the Practical Shaman, and share it to your friends as a solstice gift and blessing. And if you want to know more about this work, go over to thepracticalshaman.com. Signing off, I'm Renee, the Practical Shaman, Wind Priest, and Wind Whistler. So have an awesome, awesome summer solstice, and enjoy this mighty light, and let it shine bright in you today.